Hello, everybody. 10 wins in 12 now for the mighty Aston Villa. What is going on, really? We're just clearly one of the best teams in Europe right now, as is shown in the fact that we're now joint top of the Europa League table, joint with Midtjylland and Lyon. I was at the Young Boys game yesterday. Was a bit of a mission to get to that game. So 2 broken down trains at London Euston, or near London Euston. So that was all completely cancelled. And then thought, well, maybe I'll go through London Marylebone. Instead, somebody stole signalling cables. So all those trains were cancelled as well. And now my fiance is coming up from London right now, and all the trains are cancelled again. So the reason we don't really want to get on trains anymore is because this always happens. But no, look, I mean, after that Indiana Jones style train adventure was completed, just got to the stadium in time to see Aston Villa beat Young Boys 2-1, put them to bed. It was way past their bedtime, particularly for their fans who clearly were very restless and needed a bit of tucking in before 8 p.m. So look, first half, I thought Aston Villa were absolutely tremendous. It was joyous to watch, really. I thought 4 that stuck out to me: Malen, obviously, with his 2 goals, his running, his directness, just his general, physicality. And then aside from that, I'd probably go Onana. I thought was absolutely tremendous. Tielemans was really good, and I thought Rodgers as well. So what I would say about that is that first half, it really was, and this is not just a pun, it was men against boys, right? It looked like Villa were just different planet to Young Boys, and really that game should have ended 6-0. That's what could have happened. I think it says a lot about where Villa are as a team, obviously. Now, look, you can't say all this without the obvious caveat that the difference between the financial superpower of the Premier League and the financial power of the Swiss League is obviously very, very different. But that said, what we've discovered throughout my entire life watching Aston Villa is that when Villa are in Europe, weird things happen. You lose to teams like Go Ahead Eagles sometimes. You go to strain, you play against teams you don't know a great deal about, and sometimes you just get caught cold. Europe's difficult. It just is. 2010 knocked out by Rapid Vienna. A year later, knocked out by Rapid Vienna again. Like, Europe's just not easy. It's not easy at all. So now, what we see with Aston Villa in the Europa League, and we saw it in the Maccabi game and the Young Boys game. And look, as I say, I know these aren't the 2 strongest teams in the world, but what we've seen is that Aston Villa are a team who just can get just understands Europe, right? Knows how to play in it. And the experience of going to the semi-finals of the Conference League in our first season back in Europe for over a decade, going as far as we did in the Champions League, beating the kind of teams we did like PSG, Bayern Munich. All of those experiences just mean that now, as a core collective, they must go into these European games in the Europa League and play the sort of teams we've been playing and think, we'll win this. We'll do this. Now, the first half, you really could see that. You could see that Aston Villa were a team that were just fantastic. And the 4 core players I mentioned there, of Onana, Rodgers, Malen, and Tielemans, I thought were just in the stadium watching it. Fantastic. I thought Onana, won everything. His presence just scared young boys that were running timidly, but to them, their mom and dads, asking for help. It just his general physicality, getting about, winning tackles. You even look at the stats. It's like, it wasn't just that he was winning everything. 6 tackles and interceptions together, the most in the team. Ian Matson had 5 just behind him. But it's also his passing, I thought, was really good. And I looked at the stats today: 95 pass completion rate, 9 progressive passes as well. So playing from deep, where he's going from, it's he was really important as an attacking fulcrum from deep as well. And you saw that in the second goal, where classic Villa goal, we're playing it around at the back. Fullback plays it to a centre midfielder, or a central defender plays it to a centre midfielder. The opposition team have been drawn forward. Suddenly the space. Onana gets the ball, brilliant little brilliant long pass along the floor into Rodgers, and Rodgers with an absolutely tremendous first touch. Rodgers was fantastic yesterday, I thought. Tremendous first touch around the young boys player. Great ball into Daniel Malen, and Malen, what a finish that is! He turns the young boys defender really well, but then there's one thing he did for that finish that I really loved, and I saw it on the highlight board at Villa Park last night, was just before he shoots, he just touches it slightly with his right foot to put it into a position where he can knock it past the keeper. Whereas a lot of players would just have hit it and he would have gone straight at the keeper. Instead, he took that little touch just before and finished. And the speed of thought to do that is tremendous. It really is. Brilliant stuff in that goal. And that was classic Villa goal. And you saw a lot of the players who I mentioned involved in one goal. Classic Villa, back to front. All three brilliant players there yesterday. It was fantastic. I was delighted with that. And then the first goal as well. It had been coming, Tielemans with a lovely cross in, and again Malen just gets in ahead of his player. He doesn't just score on the floor. He doesn't just score, in the area. He gets in and he heads it past the player. And he's not the biggest in the world, but to use his physicality to use that sort of timing, it's great. And for Malen to have really hit form like he has, that first goal he got, I think it was Feyenoord, his first goal, I think, for us this season. And then the two goals, obviously, against Burnley. And then from there, he's just been, a really important player for us. And what we saw last night is the kind of the body language. He just looks such a confident player who thinks, I am going to cause trouble for the opposition team today. It's kind of the opposite of the way Watkins looks currently. And we're fortunate that Malen really has picked up his form at this exact time to sort of compensate for the fact that our striker isn't really scoring goals right now. So Malen looks like he's going to have to start against Wolves, doesn't it? Maybe Professor and I will think differently and have some reasons why not. But I'd have thought Watkins and Malen maybe start together, kind of like what happened with Burnley. It's been what I've been thinking about this week. But yeah, first half, absolutely brilliant. Brilliant display. And also set pieces, all-night set pieces. Austin McPhee is essentially our 12th man. He is. The amount of goals he creates from his sheer creativity, his ability to coach it into the players, his ability to get his message across to the players, all of that, the amount of goals he gets for us, and presumably defensively as well, what he gets, saves us. He's a massive addition to Aston Villa's coaching staff, and inevitably to Portugal as well, when they may well go on and win the World Cup next year. They look like one of the favourites. I thought big credit, because I thought our set pieces all night were exceptional and really creative. But yeah, second half, again, it started again where Villa really should have gone 3 or 4-0 up. We're unlucky not to, and Malen was just offside for his third. But then we made them 4 substitutions. 3 of the key players I mentioned came off. And there's always a problem, really, when you make 4 subs or make a lot of changes to your team, that it disrupts the momentum, disrupts the flow. And I would say that kind of is what happened. And it also felt like, and you heard it, Onana mentioned it in a post-match interview, and Unai mentioned it as well, that needed to be more ruthless. And we just weren't. And it did that thing. I mean, how many times have I said it over the last 2 years? Composed to casual. There is always a danger that Villa get casual. There just is. Because sometimes we find it too easy, I think. We just think we can see out a game and the job's done, and we'll go and win it. Whereas, and then we get caught, concede a goal, and, we make life hard for ourselves. And we did that last night. We were very lucky not to get away with an offside in the 78th minute or so, which could have made it really difficult for 15 minutes when this was a game we should have been at least 4-5-0 up in. And then we did the same again with that late goal from Montero. It was a fantastic goal. He got in behind Lamar Bogard and, super finish. But, yeah, I mean, Villa just should never have been in that position, really. And I think it was the substitutions. You make a lot of subs. I think that just disrupted the momentum. And then also just not being ruthless enough and being too casual. And, I thought Sancho I thought Sancho was good. I think I've seen a few people say he wasn't. I thought Sancho was good last night. I liked watching him. I thought again, I can, whilst he's not really got the assists and goals at all, really, there's something I see in his play that I like. I think a lot of it with Sancho is the money he's on feels that he should be getting goals and assists every single game. He doesn't do that, but he still is good and he still contributes. And there's still like levels for him to go to, I think. And I thought he worked quite well last night. And I looked at the stats. There's 8 shot creating actions, most in the team. 4 progressive carries, most in the team, joint with Rodgers. You know, I thought he did all right, Sancho. And I thought he was offering something. But yeah, unlucky not to score. There was a good save from the young boys keeper off him. One where he dragged it wide, and then a couple of occasions where it felt like he was actively trying to get Ollie Watkins a goal. A couple of occasions he got into the box in the final third, and you thought, hit it now, just take a shot. And instead, he's looking up for Ollie. Yeah, one lost my voice there. 1 goal in 18 for Ollie now. Yeah, it's dragging on in it. Look, I think the goal will come soon, and then maybe a few come after it. But it's good that Malen is picking up the workload, and hopefully Ollie can get going again soon. So yeah, I mean, look, fantastic first half. It's a game we should have won 5-0. Instead, we made it hard for ourselves by just getting too casual, and that is something Villa. One day, we are going to get that out of our heads to be like that. But that was not last night, unfortunately. And hopefully it won't be against Wolves either. Because again, that's the kind of game where, let's say Villa go 2-0 up, right, first half. I can already see it in my head that we start to just drop off a little bit. Wolves make a few substitutions. They really go for it. Villa just kind of get a bit lackadaisical. And then Wolves, out of nowhere, Jorgen Strand-Larsen scores in the 75th minute. And suddenly then it's 15 minutes where you're like, well, why are we in this situation? We should be 3-0 ahead. Or so, yeah, but yeah, hopefully that doesn't come to pass. I mean, hopefully Villa win on Sunday and we, comfortably can beat a team that currently is, in terrible form and only has 2 points all season. But as well, it's a derby. So, of course, there's that added edge to it. And Rob Edwards is new, and I'm sure he'll have, maybe it might just be a full backs to the wall job, like what Sheffield United did when they were bottom of the league under Chris Wilder 2 years ago, and they managed to get a 1-1 draw. No game in the Premier League ever is easy. So if we go into that and play it as best we can, then hopefully we'll go and get those 3 points. But yeah, in Europe, Villa just look a serious team, don't we? And there's absolutely no reason whatsoever why Villa can't now just go on and go as far as we want in this competition, surely. Like there's just no one we should fear, really. I think that's the way you'd put it. Some good sides, some very good sides in there, of course, and it's not loads of teams are going to make it hard for you. But Villa just look like a team who are riding a wave of momentum at the moment, and a few players have come good at the exact right time. Like Rodgers just looked fantastic last night. After a really poor start to the season for him, ever since he got that assist against Burnley, from there he's just been getting better and better and better. Got that goal against Tottenham, got those 2 goals against Leeds, and last night just looked like that is the player that we all know and love. And hopefully he can continue doing that, because if he does, he's going to make life very hard for Wolves, Brighton and Arsenal in the next week. So yeah, fantastic stuff. Right, well, last night I also just want to shout out, bumped into Jim Walker, got a lovely autograph from him as well. Villa's he's a bit of a cult hero, isn't he? He's written Walker's Way, which you can go and buy. Met him in the Aston Social last night. What a lovely guy, just a legend, really, a bit of a cult figure, and really lovely chatting to him as well. That was brilliant. So yeah, got the book, and please do go out there and get it. I'm sure he'll have some great. Obviously haven't been able to read it yet, but it'd be great to just read some of the stories. And that picture of him in the old '95 AST blue away shirt. I had that shirt actually. £30, I think it was. I spent but for some reason I really remember that picture, and I always just remember Jim Walker at Villa. Like he's just just a really legendary character, really, and obviously was a player himself. And what a guy. Fantastic meeting him last night. He worked with my uncle as well, John, at the Villa and at Northampton Town as well. So that was nice to talk about that as well. And yeah, what a legend. And yeah, please go buy that book if you can. And also met Andy on the train station platform at Birmingham International. Lovely to meet you, mate. Thank you so much. Tom Dare from the London Lions, Danny Not London Lions, Tom McGowan, of course, good mate there and his family. Jim Walker, and then my cousin Jim Egan. So yeah, got to meet loads of people there. Like, great to see you as well, Jim Egan. Please let me know if you're going again, and I'd love to catch up with you again. So yeah, look. Other than that, not much more to say, really. Is there a couple of comments there from Michael Huggins, good friend of the show. Good afternoon, good to see you. Public transport is a joke. Well, I mean, goodness me. I mean, it's something else, man. In this country, it is something else. Wow. I mean, last night actually there was a big contingent of Norwegian Villa fans, I think, in the Aston Social. That was cool. Really cool to see them. I didn't get to chat to them, but if any of you were there last night and you're watching or listening to this, let me know. It'd be great to hear your experiences. But yeah, if you got to experience the public transport in this country, well, yeah, it's not great. Villa was sloppy. Our mindset was not right, as it should have been. 6, yeah. Yeah, I think if I'm Unai Emery, I'd be really annoyed at the full time and say, look, why have you made this as hard for yourselves as possible? And who knows, like, what if it comes down to goal difference, getting top 8? You want to avoid those playoffs, and what if goal difference matters? And suddenly, we've blown it because we didn't get the goals we should have got in games. I got like young boys at home. Yeah, it's something we absolutely have to get out of our system. This composed to casual thing. I've been saying it for 2 years now, and it just doesn't seem to change. It comes from a good place, because it often happens when we're well ahead and the far better team. But it's just the danger it puts us in that is so unnecessary. And also it's costly for our goal difference, because there's so many games we could go on and win 3 or 4-0, and instead it's 2-1. Yeah, it's important to get that out of the game, I think. But anyway, I'll leave it there. Short and sweet. Thank you, everybody, for listening, watching. Please like, please subscribe. And yeah, see you at Wolves. I'll be there. Let me know if you're there. Great to catch up with you. Up the mighty Villa.